In a daring move, Elvis Presley dared to record a Christmas album in an unconventional September. The decision was made amidst chaos during one of his performances, where audiences were out of control and he had to be stopped twice, once at Multnomah Stadium in Portland, Oregon, and another time in 1964 with the Beatles. To lift the spirits of Elvis and his musicians after these tumultuous events, they turned to the holiday season for inspiration. The record industry was intrigued by the possibility of creating a new genre of rock and roll Christmas songs. While traditional favorites like Harry Belafonte's Mary's Boy Child dominated the charts, contemporary offerings were also gaining popularity. Eddie Cochran and the Holly Twins had a hit with I Want Elvis for Christmas, while Little Ramsey Penn wished to spend Christmas with Elvis's. Elvis was captivated by Millie Kirkham's high-pitched voice on Ferlin Husky's Gone, and he requested Steve Scholes, his producer, to bring her to Hollywood. Despite being 6 months pregnant and hesitant to fly, the money proved too tempting for her to turn down. Her ethereal vocals can be heard on both the Christmas track, My Wish Came True, and the non-seasonal ballad, Don't, penned by Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller. In a twist of fate, Elvis also recorded Blue Christmas, a song previously associated with Ernest Tubb. He proclaimed it as his favorite Christmas song out of all he had recorded. Millie Kirkham adds her unique touch to this holiday classic, creating an enchanting atmosphere in the studio. The unexpected choice to record a Christmas album during September added an air of intrigue and adventure to Elvis Presley's career, proving that even the king could be swept up in the spirit of the season. As the festive season approached, Elvis Presley prepared to add his own unique twist to classic Christmas songs such as White Christmas, I'll Be Home for Christmas, both famously associated with Bing Crosby, Here Comes Santa Claus. A lively rendition of Gene Autry's favorite, and two carols, Silent Night and O Little Town of Bethlehem. Elvis had hoped that the latest pop hit would be an original composition titled Santa Bring My Baby Back to Me, written by Aaron Schroeder and Claude Demetrius. He also desired a Christmas blues song, so he enlisted the help of Lieber and Stoller to create one on the spot. Within half an hour, they produced the captivating Santa Claus is Back in Town, where Santa arrives not in a sleigh but a big black Cadillac. The Colonel was satisfied with their swift work, although Elvis felt it took too long. Tensions mounted among the band members during this period. Scotty Moore and Bill Black had grown disenchanted with their situation for weeks, feeling underappreciated despite their hard work. The Colonel believed he could easily replace them at any time. On September 21st, Scotty and Bill left the group, but DJ Fontana remained. To fill in for Scotty on his upcoming concert dates, renowned country guitarist Hank Garland was brought in. DJ suggested Chuck Wigington as the new bass player, who worked during the day as a bank clerk but took leave to join Elvis at Graceland for 2 days of rehearsals. Elvis made an appearance at the Mississippi-Alabama Dairy Show and Fair in Tupelo on September 21st, this time for a benefit concert supporting the Elvis Presley Youth Recreation Center. Upon his return to Los Angeles, he was informed by the LAPD that his signature hip movements were no longer permitted during performances. In September, RCA Victor released both Jailhouse Rock as a single and an accompanying EP. The single swiftly climbed to the top of the U.S. charts, where it stayed for 7 weeks, adding to Elvis's impressive 26 total weeks at the #1 spot in 1957. Despite not appearing on the charts in the same manner as Love Me Tender, the Jailhouse Rock EP sold over 1 million copies. Similar to Loving You, Jailhouse Rock was another film featuring Elvis as a young, gifted singer caught up in the harsh realities of show business. In this movie, he played Vince Everett, an ex-con whose guitar propelled him from shame to fame. This narrative was a poignant commentary on the trials and tribulations faced by aspiring performers in the cutthroat world of entertainment. In the shadowy realm of a gritty bar brawl, Vince Everett's life takes an unexpected turn when he accidentally kills a man. As fate would have it, he crosses paths with the enigmatic Hunk Houghton, who sees potential in the young man and teaches him the art of guitar playing. However, their friendship is tested as Vince finds himself entangled in further trouble, leading to a harrowing scene where he is stripped bare and flogged, leaving fans devastated by his ordeal. Emerging from the depths of incarceration, Vince sets his sights on a career in music. His path mirrors that of the legendary Sun Records in 1954 as he performs Don't Leave Me Now, a song that lacks the raw emotion necessary to make it big. Encouraged to rough up his performance, Vince feels betrayed when the song is stolen by an unscrupulous record company and handed over to their star artist, Mickey Alba. Inspired by Elvis Presley's ambitious venture in creating his own label and pressing records, Bobby Vinton dreamed of following suit. However, Vince's journey becomes fraught with obstacles as he grapples with disillusionment and a hostile crowd that turns against him. Smashing his guitar in frustration, he seeks the help of record plugger Peggy Van Alder, Judy Tyler, who guides him towards a new opportunity. Upon Hunk's release from prison, he becomes Vince's gopher, only to discover the extent of his friend's transformation. In an attempt to bring him back to reality, Hunk assaults him, sparking a moment of introspection. As Vince faces the possibility of losing his voice, reminiscent of Sinatra's character in The Joker is Wild, everything takes a miraculous turn, and he serenades Judy Tyler with Young and Beautiful. Tragically, Judy Tyler's life was cut short in a car accident just months after the film's release. Despite being an MGM production, Jailhouse Rock is shot in black and white, with only the title track receiving the lavish Hollywood treatment it deserves. This leaves one wondering what might have been had Elvis been given more creative freedom. The film's portrayal of Jailhouse Rock as a metaphor for sexual desire is intriguing, as Lenny Henry aptly points out. The monthly film bulletin notes the overstaged nature of the title number but acknowledges its primitive verve. As we delve deeper into the intrigue and drama that unfolds in Jailhouse Rock, it becomes clear that this film is not just about music. It's a captivating tale of redemption, ambition, and the human spirit's resilience in the face of adversity. In the realm of cinematic history, there lies a hidden gem, a film that showcases the raw talent and undeniable charisma of Elvis Presley. Titled Jailhouse Rock, this movie has become a cult classic among fans, despite receiving mixed reviews at its release. Set in the Prohibition era, the story revolves around a group of dancers, all of whom are male, as they navigate through the world of jazz and rhythm. The Purple Gang, a real-life criminal organization from Detroit, serves as inspiration for this colorful cast of characters. Among them is Shifty Henry, a character drawn from the life of John Henry, a musician known to Lieber and Stoller in LA. The dialogue in Jailhouse Rock is peppered with wit and humor, showcasing Elvis's quick thinking and charm. At a cocktail party, he quips about his time in the music industry being about a week, and later engages in a playful argument with his agent, which culminates in a passionate kiss. However, not everyone was enamored with this film. Critics such as John Tynan from Downbeat dismissed it as a deadly dull effort that failed to capture the magic of rock and roll. The Times pointed out Elvis's lack of inner turmoil and emotional depth in his portrayal, which detracted from the overall impact of the film. Despite the lukewarm reception, Jailhouse Rock has become a beloved staple among Elvis fans. Even Elvis himself, looking back in 1976, expressed embarrassment over the film, feeling that it didn't do justice to his talents or the rock and roll fans in England. However, history has proven him wrong. Elvis's performance and acting prowess shine through, showcasing a side of him that was rarely seen on screen. In October, just before the release of Jailhouse Rock, Elvis played a series of concerts on the East Coast. Jon Stewart of the Kingston Trio witnessed one such performance and was left in awe. He described the energy and strength of Elvis's voice, which left him shaken and unable to forget the experience. As we delve deeper into this intriguing tale of a film that has divided opinions but captivated hearts, it becomes clear that Jailhouse Rock is more than just a movie. It's a testament to the enduring legacy of Elvis Presley and his undeniable impact on popular culture. As the enigmatic figure of Elvis Presley captivated audiences worldwide with his mesmerizing performances, various individuals shared their unique perspectives on the king of rock and roll. Maurice Kenn, founder of InMe and former boxing reporter, described Presley's ability to arouse fans to fever pitch as sheer mass hypnotism of an amazing kind. This fascinating display left many in awe, unable to resist its pull. Kenn had the chance to converse with Elvis himself and discovered that the famous singer received one-third of the royalties from songs he recorded, even if he didn't write them. While it appeared unjust, Elvis seemed unfazed by this arrangement, perhaps due to Colonel Parker's influence. It was speculated that Elvis may have discussed this matter with his manager, potentially leading to his name being removed from future song credits. When asked about his favorite singers, Elvis mentioned Dean Martin and Pat Boone, whom he considered rivals created by the media and record companies. Interestingly, while they shared similar backgrounds, Elvis was seen as the rebel and Pat Boone, the conformist. Despite this supposed rivalry, both artists often appealed to the same fan base for different reasons. In November, Elvis embarked on a journey to Hawaii for 3 performances, including 2 at Honolulu Stadium and 1 for servicemen at Schofield Barracks, Pearl Harbor. However, Tom Moffat and Ron Jacobs of KHVH staged pranks with a fake Elvis, which attracted massive crowds. This infuriated Colonel Parker, who vehemently denied the existence of Elvis imitators. The intrigue surrounding these events only added to the enigmatic persona of Elvis Presley. In the midst of a whirlwind of controversy and debate, Elvis Presley's Elvis's Christmas album made its grand debut on November 19th. This unique collection comprised of Christmas sessions along with the Peace in the Valley EP, which was strategically included to mimic the sound of spiritual carols. The album received a warm reception in the US, featuring a lavish gatefold cover adorned with an array of Elvis photographs. Despite the initial excitement, a surprising backlash emerged. Although Elvis himself held a profound love for Christmas and enjoyed giving extravagant gifts, many questioned his suitability as a symbol of festive cheer. The enigmatic Colonel Parker had hoped that this album would further establish Elvis as an all-encompassing entertainer. However, the unexpected uproar threatened to tarnish his image. The legendary Irving Berlin, known for penning White Christmas, staunchly believed that Bing Crosby's rendition stood as the definitive version, one filled with warmth, kindness, and genuine holiday spirit. Apparently, he had not yet encountered Elvis's playful take on the classic tune from 1954. Elvis's irreverent approach, which included an amusing impersonation of Johnny Ray, seemed to ruffle a few feathers in high places. Berlin even went as far as contacting the directors of major American radio stations, requesting them not to broadcast what he considered inferior material. This heavy-handed attempt at censorship only served to amplify publicity and sales for the album. A certain degree of envy and resentment also surfaced within the music industry, with some artists and songwriters feeling threatened by Elvis's popularity and the decline in demand for their work. Richard Rodgers, the renowned composer, was appalled when he heard the Marcels' lively rendition of his beloved Blue Moon. Despite its commercial success, Rodgers continued to condemn the record. In contrast, Johnny Mercer, another esteemed songwriter, embraced the changing musical landscape and even penned Pat Boone's hit Bernadine. The controversy surrounding Elvis's Christmas album did not end there. Some religious figures accused him of disrespecting timeless classics like Silent Night and O Little Town of Bethlehem, complaining on behalf of the long-deceased composers. They criticized his breath control, claiming that he would never be welcomed into their church choirs. Regardless of the criticism, Elvis's Christmas album remained an ideal gift for the festive season, although some voiced concerns about promoting such a notorious figure to impressionable children. The intrigue surrounding Elvis Presley and his unique take on holiday music continues to captivate audiences even today. As the holiday season approached, Elvis Presley's album soared to the top of the charts, selling 1 million copies and overshadowing the soundtrack for Around the World in 80 Days. This became a classic Christmas seller that would continue its success for the next decade. Interestingly enough, the best-selling Christmas single of 1957 wasn't Elvis, but Bobby Helms with Jingle Bell Rock. That fateful year brought an unwanted Christmas present for Elvis, his formal notice to join the U.S. Army. He was expected to report to the induction center in Memphis on January 20th, which coincided with the start of filming King Creole in New Orleans. Colonel Parker assured that he would handle the situation. Elvis celebrated his first Christmas at Graceland, where it snowed. He invited several relatives and placed a substantial sum of $15,000 in large denominations on his bed, leading to speculation if this was a test. After Christmas, he discovered that $1,000 had gone missing, and he suspected the culprit. On December 27th, Elvis received a deferment until March so that he could complete filming. The official letter from President Eisenhower read as a polite draft notice, "Greetings, you have been chosen to have the honor to serve your country." In an effort to enhance his image and approval ratings, Elvis allowed himself to be drafted into the U.S. Army. Colonel Parker believed this was a smart career move. And indeed, knowing Presley's military dog tag, 533-10761, shows its effectiveness. Some may argue that Parker was short-sighted, but in this case, he proved them wrong. Elvis ended the year with a concert in St. Louis, marking the end of an era as his performances were soon to cease. He could have easily served his military duty within a few months by entertaining troops, but Parker insisted on no special treatment. However, Elvis had his own interpretation of this rule, and his military and private life as Private Elvis Presley was unlike any other soldiers before or since.